The liftoff was watched around the world, including here on Long Island. Good afternoon. I'm Virginia Huie. The inspiration came after he heard a recorded version of taps played at his godfather's funeral. Greenfield still works 6 days a week, making sure that everything that bears his label honors the family he lost in the Holocaust and the one he created after coming to America. This is the neighborhood where police say a man tried to lure 2 fifth-grade girls into his car. The Wantagh School District alerted parents this afternoon. Sleet was known for his strong work ethic. He spent thousands of hours developing his own negatives. What emerged over the course of his 40-year career were priceless pieces of history. The town says they did make this bathroom area handicapped accessible by putting up this lock gate in May. It has a sign that says, "Call this number if you're handicapped to gain access." But Hawkins says it's not only inconvenient, it's discriminatory. Welcome to News 12 Long Island on this first day of 2016. I'm Virginia Huie. Jets fans say another reason why the Jets should come here to Farmingdale is the school's colors and the team's colors are the same, green and white. So they say it would be a perfect match. In Farmingdale, Virginia Huie, News 12, Long Island.
Oh, thanks, Virginia.
Let's go, let's go!
The Long Beach Gladiators train hard to be the best wrestlers in the state.
Number one thing is effort. Go!
The biggest effort comes from the team's tiniest warrior.
He could do anything. He's that type of kid.
He's 6-year-old Isaiah Bird. The 42-pounder wrestles unlike any of his opponents. Isaiah has so much spirit, energy, and talent, he's undaunted by what he's missing.
I have no legs, but I don't need no legs. I'm a wrestler. I'm a gladiator. I'm stronger than everybody.
A birth defect left Isaiah without legs, but his personal battles don't end there. Isaiah is homeless. He lives in this shelter at a Glen Cove church with his mother and 1-year-old brother. His family can't afford a wheelchair, so Isaiah gets around on his hands. Life isn't easy, but Isaiah has a couple of things going for him. He has a mother who encourages him with unconditional love.
My son, he goes above and beyond everything he does. That just makes me want to do so much more for him as a mom.
Isaiah also has a coach who believes in him.
He came into my life and he made me appreciate life even more.
Impressed with Isaiah's strength, Coach Miguel Rodriguez suggested he give wrestling a shot.
Wrestling is a sport that you really don't need to have legs to be an amazing wrestler. You can actually be self-confident to be an athlete and compete with kids that are normal, you know, and feel normal.
And it was on the wrestling mat where this little boy with half the body but twice the strength learned to stand tall.
I like winning. I have 6 medals. Soon I'm going to get 7.
Section 11.
In fact, Isaiah won so many matches this year, he qualified for the state tournament to compete against the best young wrestlers in New York.
He took the biggest step that he could ever take in life. Just being out there. Win, lose, or draw, he's out there, and it's showing everybody that anybody can do anything.
And while Isaiah is taking down his opponents, he's lifting the spirits of everyone in the crowd.
As a disabled child, to come out here and to show great sportsmanship and focus and fight and play was absolutely amazing.
He's faced a little more challenges than most of the kids here. The fact that he could overcome this, he's got a great support team.
Come on, get his leg!
Isaiah's final match was a real knockdown dragout.
Isaiah, look at me. Scoot right.
The Gladiators' tiniest warrior showed plenty of fight, pinning his opponent to pull off a win. An amazing feat by a little boy born without legs. What Isaiah isn't missing is heart.
It feels great. It feels awesome. It even feels amazing.
Virginia Huie, News 12, Long Island. The fire was so massive it destroyed 3 houses and damaged 2 others. This pile of rubble you see behind me is all that is left of one of the houses. There was a baby inside that house when the fire broke out.
Oh, it was pandemonium. It was unbelievable.
Neighbors watched in horror as a house on East Santa Barbara Road erupted into a raging fireball. A young couple and their baby girl who were inside that house ran for their lives.
As soon as I saw the lady with the baby, I just saw the backyard just go in flames and then right into black smoke. And she was yelling to the husband, "It's out of your control. It's out of your control.
The fire quickly spread to 2 houses next door. Chopper 12 was over the neighborhood as the blaze tore through the houses, burning one of them down to the beams. Firefighters from 15 departments raced to the scene.
We're so involved at one point we couldn't make an interior attack at the point. We just wanted to protect the adjoining houses for exposures.
Fire officials say high winds blew the embers across the canal, sparking a massive brush fire on Indian Island. Residents say the heat and smoke were intense.
You actually couldn't see. It was so black. It was just impossible to see for a while.
Simon Hicks says the embers damaged his boat, which was at his house 2 blocks away.
The embers came out of the island like it was unbelievable, like Africa, across and lit my dock on fire.
Intense heat from the fire melted the siding of Keith Bush's home.
I was lucky because it could have been much worse. I was, one house away.
Officials say the fire was an accident.
It appears at this point that the fire was caused by an electrical issue in connection with a wall-mounted air conditioner.
Now, the fire was devastating, but residents I spoke with say they are relieved that no one was seriously injured. Neighbors are helping the families displaced by the fire with food and clothing.
We're going to take in a little bit.
When it comes to suit making, Martin Greenfield of Manhasset has the field all sewn up.
The quality takes hands, and I am the best maker in the world.
For more than 60 years, the Czech-born tailor has been making menswear the old-fashioned way. Every sleeve, every lapel, every buttonhole, all handmade for clients who dress to impress.
I, Dwight D. Eisenhower.
He made suits for Presidents Eisenhower, Johnson, Ford, Clinton, and the current commander-in-chief.
And he looks damn good.
Greenfield dresses Hollywood stars, too. You've seen his sharp suits on Al Pacino in The Scent of a Woman.
Now you watch every stitch.
He sewed his first stitch not in the fashion houses of Manhattan or Milan, but in a place of unspeakable horror.
The odds were against me. From the day I arrived in concentration camp.
In 1944, Greenfield was shipped like cattle to Auschwitz. He was 15 and became a number. His left arm still bears the scars of the past.
A4406.
Assigned to laundry duty, Greenfield accidentally ripped a Nazi officer's shirt while scrubbing it.
Right away they beat you.
The mistake cost him a lashing, but gave him an idea. He sewed the shirt back together again and wore it instead of his prison uniform. His new attire won him respect from the Nazi officer.
When I walked through the front, he never stopped me. He thought I was somebody.
That day in the death camp marked the beginning of the rest of his life. Greenfield learned about the power of clothes and the strength of his will to survive.
No matter how many times I was beaten up and stuff, I said, I will survive you. And I did.
But his whole family perished in Auschwitz.
I cry on the inside, but I never forget that.
After liberation, Greenfield began stitching together a new life in America. He got a job at 3G Clothing in Brooklyn and climbed the ranks from floor boy to factory manager. 30 years later, Greenfield bought the business and named it after himself.
I never gave up.
At 87 years old, Greenfield still works 6 days a week, making sure that everything that bears his label honors the family he lost in the Holocaust and the one he created after coming to America.
My dad, his last words to me was, if I don't survive, you have to promise me not cry for us. You live for us. Continue life with a family.
A promise kept by the sole surviving son, who is now the proud patriarch of a family of 10. His triumph over evil beyond measure.
The victory for me is to be alive here and to be happy in what I do.
Virginia Huie, News 12, Long Island. In a place where valor rests, a soldier's lullaby echoes through the Garden of Stones. Louis DeLeo of Seaford has sounded taps at more than 7,000 military funerals. As the chief bugler of New York's Military Forces Honor Guard, DeLeo lives by 2 mottos. Nothing is more important than honoring a fallen soldier, and there's no such thing as sounding taps too many times.
They put on the uniform, and at that point, they wrote a blank check to the United States of America, payable up to their lives. They can't go unrewarded and unthanked.
The nation's call of remembrance was born in war 150 years ago. In 1862, Union Brigadier General Daniel Butterfield adapted it from a French tune as a new way to signal lights out for battle-weary troops during the Civil War. Since 1891, taps has officially been the final salute at all U.S. military funerals and marked the passing of U.S. presidents. For DeLeo, sounding taps at military funerals is not just important, it's personal. The inspiration came after he heard a recorded version of taps played at his godfather's funeral.
It seemed too impersonal. When he went to war, the bullets were real, the battle was real. I'd like to see real taps played at the funeral of these people.
That's why DeLeo has made it his mission to play taps live at as many funerals as he can attend. For 1 minute during each service, one family's sorrow is shouldered by the heart of a patriot.
When Mr. Liu plays it, he carries out the notes a little longer, so it makes it that much more powerful.
This was DeLeo's 7,125th funeral, and it won't be his last. He says he'll be there to honor that fallen soldier he never met for that sacrifice he can't forget. At Calverton National Cemetery, Virginia Huie, News 12, Long Island.